And welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name is Chris, bringing it to you here from Westlake Village, California, and it is another scorcher out there. So what are we going to talk about today? Bitcoin's price action in the short term and the long term, give a little price target, and we're going to talk about some crypto news. So let's just jump right into it. First thing on the board here, Samsung revealed as most active investor in blockchain since September. Yes, the Southern Korean tech giant Samsung, they've been identified as the most active investor, participating in 13 funding rounds between September 21 and June 22nd. In a blog post by Block Data, which was updated on Wednesday, the tech company was revealed to have participated in funding rounds for 13 companies, including Flow Carbon, Bored Ape Yacht Club, the issuer of Yuka Labs, and blockchain gaming company Animoca Brands, and Axie Infinity owner Sky Mavis. The corporation is likely to have done most of its investing efforts through Samsung Next, a multifaceted innovation group within Samsung Electronics, investing in blockchain, artificial intelligence, and the metaverse. So here's a list of all the companies. That's pretty cool. We'll leave a link in the description below. Secondly, CoinFun launches a $300 million Web3 fund to invest in early stage crypto. So I want you to continue to hear what we're hearing. Big tech giants investing in Web3, NFTs, and gaming. And it says here, the 7-year-old CoinFun is launching a $300 million early stage Web3 venture fund, CoinFun Ventures I, which is backed by institutional investors, family offices, and crypto native founders. They said, quote, "We started in 2015 and have invested in more than 100 portfolio companies since then." David Pacman, the managing partner and head of venture investing at CoinFun, said to TechCrunch. So the firm is one of the biggest running Web3 venture capitalists and has invested an estimated $1 billion in seed startups, the firm said in a release. And the new fund will invest in crypto projects and companies that focus on layer 1 blockchains, Web3 infrastructure, DeFi, NFTs, and gaming, payments, asset management, exchanges, marketplaces, and decentralized applications. Pacman said the capital will be deployed over a 2 to 3 year period. He added, even though the market might not be bullish as it was last year, Pacman isn't worried. So I was going to say, hopefully they didn't launch that fund in December last year, right? But it does go to show, when we go into the next bull market for Bitcoin, what assets are likely to outperform. Here's one of my favorite guys. Just kidding, Peter Schiff. He's has been a big naysayer of Bitcoin, flip-flops all the time. But Schiff warned, and this is one thing I could agree with what he's saying. Peter Schiff warns U.S. faces a massive financial crisis. Economists expects much larger problems. Funny, they call him an economist. We're going to have much larger problems in 2008 when the defaults start. So, here's what I agree. What I would agree with what he's saying is, he says the decline in U.S. inflation is only temporary. And I'm sure, what is he doing? He's shilling some gold. Schiff explained inflation is seemingly cooling. He believes the trend will not last. Quote, paradoxically, investors are selling dollars and buying gold on a lower than expected rise in July CPI as they think the Fed will adopt a less aggressive policy. Schiff said on Twitter, they're right to sell dollars and buy gold, but for the wrong reasons. The decline in inflation is only temporary. Okay, next up, and more of the future to come, digital currency, right? So Colombia announced plans to launch a digital currency to, quote, reduce tax evasion. So I wonder if somebody on the WEF is nudging them, right? So they revealed their plan to launch this new digital currency. It'll be like a digital dollar. One of the purposes of the new currency would be curb tax evasion and enhance traceability of transactions made by citizens. The proposed measure would also be accompanied by restrictions on cash payments and transactions over 10 million Colombian pesos, which is only $2,400. So, as it says here, many countries are now looking to digitize part of their economies in order to better understand and control the flow of money in their economies. Now, remember, how does communism work? They got to control the power, your gasoline and electric bill. They got to control the food source. And the number one thing, they got to control the money. And digital currency is the streamline towards the government completely controlling pretty much every breath you take, to put it a little more dramatically. But in other words, hey, you don't vote the right way, we're shutting you off. If you don't take the vaccine, we're shutting you off. If you don't have a socially gender acceptable model in your business, we shut you off. So be on the lookout for those digital currencies. Lastly, NFL franchise Houston Texans to accept cryptocurrency for single game suites. So you want to rent out box seats over at the Houston Texans, get out your crypto wallet. Yes, Tuesday, the crypto wallet firm BitWallet announced that the company has linked a deal with the NFL Houston Texans. The NFL team will allow fans to buy single game suites and pay with 4 different digital assets: Bitcoin, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Ethereum. Quote, we are proud. So the NFL says, quote, we are proud to partner with BitWallet to offer an exciting option for our fans who are looking to enjoy Texans game day in one of our suites. And they said, quote, the organization is forward in new and innovative ways. So notice the big companies, they're not really shaken by this market correction right now. They're seeing the future. They're looking 3 to 5 years out, 10 years out, 20 years out, and they know they have to adopt and be innovative. And I pat them on the back. I salute you, Texans, for jumping on board with the crypto bandwagon. All right, let's get into the most important news of the day, and that is Bitcoin's price action. And first thing I want to take a look at here is the 2-day time frame. The 2-day on spot price action here. And what do we have? Several drives of hidden bearish divergence, which should give us a move down to this pivot right here. I'm going to mark it off. So that is going to be 1, 2, 3 drives of hidden bearish divergence where the price is making lower highs versus the RSI making higher highs. And I would expect a shot to the bottom side of the range at a minimum, which is going to come in right here. And how are we going to mark this off? Let's get a little, where's my tool belt? Here it is. So we mark this off right here. And so what are we talking about move-wise here? We're talking about a 7% move. Now, if this level does want to break, next level down, $20,000. And I could see potentially Bitcoin making a little lower high in that a higher low. And it's going to take a while for bullish divergence to build up on the other side. The 2-day is a rather slow time frame. So this is going to be, something that happens relatively slow. And I do think, yes, Bitcoin could pop up tomorrow and do a little backfill, which is exactly what we've been seeing on the daily time frame several times here now, where we get a red candle and immediately the market opens up and then gets sold into, opened up, sold into, opened up big here and big fake out, sold into. So how is the market digesting the latest Fed meeting news? It seems around the interwebs, and excuse me while I take a sip of this nice peach vibe Celsius. it's the healthy energy drink, supposedly. So we already had this confirmed on the daily time frame, gives you a shot to the 21. Really, I guess, is that the 2-day pivot right there? Did I overshoot on that? Let's see. Did I put that pivot in the right place? Yeah, so I think short-term bounce at 22.5. If that breaks, the next level is going to be 21.300. And just drawing out this falling channel again, for those of you who like to draw things out, we've been looking at this guy right here as a rising channel, a rising channel. And this kind of formation, call it a rising pizza, whatever you want to call it. If the bottom side of this trend line does start to break here, I am going to be more bearishly biased for us to retesting these lows over the next few weeks, especially, especially coming into next month. I believe it is around the 20th where the next major Fed meeting is going to be. Of course, we're going to have the inflation release. So if Peter Schiff is right, and we get another big inflation print here coming in the next few weeks, I think this thing could, slowly droop its way down. This is really kind of the line in the sand. I believe it's going to be that $20,000 pivot for, Bitcoin to maybe hit some of those lower targets. And again, the measure move off of this guy right here from the high to the low would be something like this. And that gets you down to about 12,000. And if we do something like that, I imagine capitulation is going on or going to happen, and really price could go a bit lower, right? But it never goes straight down. If you look at the last few major washouts, this move down was 38%. This move down was 44%. And this move down was 42%. So let's say we take 40% off of this price action from the top to the low. And that's pretty much right there. I mean, could be a little bit higher, 40%, Close enough is close enough. So you never want to get too greedy. But I do not suspect that we're going to break this on the first pass, all in one swoop. Why is that? Well, it's open interest. Open interest in the market right now. And this is all the leverage positions on the board. That's all the people putting leverage on, buying futures contracts, getting into some of the more, let's say, risk on assets. Don't worry, that's not my personal email. Okay, so we're at 9.4 billion, and basically anytime open interest does get up around this level right here, above, call it, really we want to see it above 12 billion with a B. That's typically when we've seen some nice, 25% corrections or more. What does lead me to believe that we are going to get a 20% move in either direction. Right now, this could be to the upside or to the downside, is the daily time frame and low volatility. If we do see volatility start to expand and get above the 20 percentile, basically taking out this last high right here, regains the exponential. To me, that's kind of what I'm waiting for on spot price action, and vice versa on the CMEs, which is the Bitcoin futures market on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Symbol is BTC1 exclamation. Here is one thing that does already give me the bias for the downwards action. So Stokes are down, volatility is low. We are printing several drives of bearish divergence, and I would say this is Is that confirmed as a local high? I mean, close enough is close enough, right? So we close in on the 21. This could be a little bit of a reversal candle. However, there's very little volume. So, does Bitcoin get one more splurt to the upside? One more splurt. And what would that look like? Something like this. One more little splurt to the upside. Boop. Kind of puts in a little double top here and it fails. And then we fail back below this level over the next couple of days. That's really going to look good for a rather decent sized move down. But if you were looking at this as a ascending triangle, which technically they do have more of a chance to break to the upside. However, it looks like we already broke to the downside as we speak. And if I just a little more accurately put this on, let's make this a little more accurate. So I'm going to wrap it up here soon, guys, but is that more accurate? 3 touches to a trend line. 3 touches. So we got 1, 2, 3. So 3 touches making it a trend. And from the 50 percentile and the measure move takes us down to this guy right here at 20,950. And yeah, I could see that being a line in the sand. And back onto our dollar pivot, which we did say, hey, it looks like that, right here, we called this out. We said, hey, this is our third drive of hidden bullish divergence coming back from this point right here. And that's where price is making higher lows, 1, 2, 3 higher lows. Yet the RSI is making lower lows. So 1, 2, 3, 3 drives. Stokes are up, getting out of the bearish control zone. And Mr. Strong Dollar taking off here. That's bad for stocks, good for Bitcoin. And where is the bull trap likely to come in? Oh, right at the 618. So could this be our stopping point? To me, volatility is expanding. This looks good for continuation and maybe a shot up to 108. And if we do a smaller fib retracement off of this last consolidation from the height of the low, that would bring you up, to this level at 108.27. I do imagine if the dollar wants to keep going, that will hurt stocks and hurt Bitcoin unless you're in a short position. What else do I see on NASDAQ? We did get up to the purple 200. We're doing some review with the fellows here this morning. And, basically, what did we conclude is this. Let's look at it on a weekly time frame. So NASDAQ from the high to the low was down 32%. Now we are only down 18%. So almost a 50%. We basically had a nice bear market rally, okay? So it was down 32, now we're only down 18. S&P was down 23%, now we're only down 10%. So people have almost regained half of what they lost, which is not bad for a bear market rally. Okay, lastly, the one that fared the best of them all, I believe, was the Dow. Why? Because this is very similar to that tech bubble. So down 20%, now the Dow is only down 7%. So this was the general of the market. NASDAQ had been leading the way all the way through, the tech guys, right? And we've always said Bitcoin's just a higher beta tech stock. That's why it's so highly correlated with the NASDAQ. And We got a bounce off the purple 200. Okay, same thing here on the S&P, and same thing here on, and this is usually where you run into trouble, right at that green 55. The green 55 is the governor, and usually the first pass is a sell. If you want to sell the lower high, and guess what? Big hedge funds like Bridgewater, BlackRock, and Michael Burry's hedge fund, Scion Capital Asset Management, whatever it's called. These hedge funds, guess what they're doing? They're selling their stock. They are saying, you know what? I'm gonna take my chances and run with it. Those profits, I mean, if you sold here, going back from anywhere like 2019, if you bought in anywhere back here, 2017, 2018, 2019, any of these tech companies, typically this kind of a return over 3 years, call it, let's say 2017 to 2022, so 5 years. That's September. Let's go to January 2017. 5 years, you're up 173%. These are unheard of gains for the stock market. It's absolutely crazy. So anybody that is sitting there saying, you know what, the stock market is just going to go back and make new all-time highs, I think you're crazy. Again, this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but this is one of those times where we might be in the biggest bubble we've ever seen in history. So why not take a cautionary stance? And if all of a sudden the trend changes, right, and all of a sudden we are making higher highs and higher lows, right, not lower highs and lower lows, right, then the trend changes, hey, get back in. If all of a sudden, the midterm elections don't go so well for the Democrats, and all of a sudden some new stimulus bills come out, and all of a sudden they decide they're going to start lowering rates again, right? Don't fight the Fed. Don't fight the Fed. That is it. That's all I'm going to leave with you guys today. Hope you have a blessed and highly favored day. Take care.